So I'm having a really hard week and exhausting, so I'm probably gonna keep this short. I don't know though. I don't really have a great track record with that when I say I will. Anyway, um, to start with responses, Kate, how on earth is there a metric where you don't count as medically vulnerable? That is a really dumb system. Oregon, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. Um, but I am pretty much an expert at getting people COVID vaccine appointments. I've done it 3 times and I've helped other people get it for a few other times. So come May 1st, I'll be there with you. I can help. I can give you plenty of tips if you want. Or I can literally do it for me if you give me your information. Because, I mean, you sleep bad hours too, but I sleep such that I'm awake when the appointments go available. And not everybody is. So I was able to make appointments or help people with them because I was awake when they were doing it. So we can follow up on that closer to the date, but I'd love to help you if you're interested and need help. It's really cool that you make hawthorn tinctures for allergies. I am trying to get better at things like cooking, but I'm still not clever enough with things that like would be cool to learn how to do. So I think that's really cool how you do that. Eric made a loud squeaky sound that was not particularly cat-like to me. And that then made me think of how loud that box to Poland would be. So not only would it be really heavy and really expensive, it would be so loud. And the postal service would be like traumatized. Like, what is going on with this box? Like, how many cats are in there and why are they squeaking? No, so that was a good laugh in the middle of a bad week, so thank you. The tarot, so I ended up deciding not to do NaNoWriMo or NaNoEditMo or whatever, but my friends were doing a NaPoWriMo, which is National Poetry Writing Month, and it's like write one poem a day every day. And I lasted one day, and then I gave up. I'm not a poet, but like I'd like to practice with iambic pentameter because I'm pretty comfortable with it, but I'd like to make it better as opposed to just being able to do it and like in my style, I'd like for it to be like a good style. And iambic pentameter for me, like it's gotten exponentially easier the more I've practiced it and the more it's like in the beginning I had to think about what is the up down, but now it's like I can just feel it and the words just come in that order to my brain, which is very nice and very helpful. And I thought, honestly, that, like, if I did NaPoWriMo, it would help me get even better at it. But I made it one day, so maybe I'll go back to it. I've been working until 6:30, 7 every single day. Over the weekend, I was jam-packed full of fun things because I was like, I needed a recovery weekend. And back in the old day, I would, like, fly somewhere, or I'd, like, go out to a bunch of bars, or I'd go to Broadway shows or baseball games. I went to a baseball game. But I can't go to Broadway shows or bars, so in addition to the baseball game, I did things like video chat, game night day with friends, and I had a writers group, and I don't know, other stuff. So, and then like exercising and cooking for myself, and so it was like, I was very, very busy all weekend to recover from the fact that I just worked so much last week. And like, I don't really like working till 6, but I can't really say no to my boss because she knows I have nothing technically better to be doing. And I'm going to hopefully leverage this into extra vacation days because I think I've worked like almost 8 hours extra in the last week or so. And if I can ask for an extra vacation day for the summer, that'd be better because I would really like those. I really got off track there. Where I was supposed to be going with the NaNoWriMo comment was you were talking about the tarot thing, and I'm wondering how that went or is going. I'm really curious whether or not you followed the original plan, if you're doing it at all. I'd be curious to hear about it. I've done tarot like a handful of times, almost all with the same person. So this is a story that I probably shouldn't tell in the middle of trying to respond to things, but I will anyway. So last February, like immediately before COVID started, right before, I had a friendship blow up. So this friend and I, the reason I bring this up is because she is the only person I've ever known who's really into tarot who got me to try it. And I would like do my best making up like answers based on what I was seeing or the descriptions. but I wasn't like divining or whatever the verb is properly. And like I would do it while drinking beer and it would be hilarious to me. And I enjoyed it. And we would like watch baseball games together or like do music. Like we were good friends, I thought. And I'd hang up at her house or we'd go like to bars together. We hung out both as a pair and also in groups. Like I thought we had a bond. And then she got a new job and she unfriended me because I was too poor. I don't know if I shared this. She literally messaged me like, "Hey, do you want to stop being friends?" And I was like, "What?" Like the comment came out of nowhere to me. It was like we'd been hanging out like a week before. I was like, "What is this?" And I'm not gonna go into like rehashing the whole thing, but it was very out of the blue for me and very strange. And so now everything that reminds me of her, things like tarot, make me think of the absurdity of that moment. I've never been unfriended for being poor before. Though in my defense, I now make like a significant amount more than I did then. So, I mean, I still make like a quarter what she does probably, but like, I think I'm holding my own. Respectable. That February, I think was like right before I got back into recording regularly because I think that was probably like March because it was probably around the start of COVID. So score one for a positive of COVID is I got more focused on making videos again, which before that I only did like a little more sporadically. Not that there are good things about COVID, but you know, if there were, that's one of them for me. Your point about what gaps in no, I'm responding again. Your point about what gaps in journals say about like it's almost like text is so fascinating, and that's so true because it's like it could be busy doing interesting things, or it could be depression or exhaustion or just distraction. And like that is really interesting. It's like in some ways the fact that I went 6 months without writing once tells a lot about the distraction in my mind, that I either didn't think about it or was too stressed to do it, both of which were true. And like I mean, I was not going to go back and refill half a year. So yeah, it's like it was too daunting. So at that point I was like, I'm just going to start from today. I did a quick summary of earlier stuff and then moved on, and that helped me. Or like the fact that I haven't written in a week and a half or 2 weeks now is because I've been crazy busy at work, working all the hours, and then I get home and it's like I just have the energy to like eat, exercise, and then read for a few hours, and that's it. So I haven't been journaling lately. And like the gap says that. And the journal entries before and after will probably also say that. So yeah, interesting. Or we'll back it up, I mean, not say it necessarily, but trying to reference things that haven't been mentioned in a journal that you think should have been mentioned in a journal. I've run into this so much because of my gap last year, where all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, how did I not mention that I'm in a writer's society? Not now. Now I've mentioned 1,000 times. But in like late fall, I realized I'd been in it for months without referencing it because I was like it just hadn't come up somehow in my journals because I was like not super regular with writing in them and only writing about bigger things. And I was like, this is absurd. And so I went through one day and I was like, I did what I usually do, which is when I meet a new group of friends, which is I kind of like write down my first impressions of people. And I was like, I'm doing this so late. Wow. And by first impressions, like, I don't mean that in like, there's nothing negative. It's like first positive impressions, basically. But it's always interesting to me because my memory's so bad. So like if in a year I go back and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that this was the first thing I knew about this person and I didn't know these other things. Like, that's always interesting to me, and I don't usually share it, but I like having it. The weed outside that you said I should stuff out, it's next to a very pretty plant, so I can't do the paper trick, unfortunately, because I don't want to kill the plant. But the weed itself is like maybe 2.5 feet tall. So I should probably just take like actual scissors and cut it. I didn't notice it, like my eyes glazed past it for a long time, and I keep waiting for it to rain for the soil to soften, and it just keeps not raining because it's California, so, yeah. I don't know what else I was supposed to say, but it has been 10 minutes. As I predicted, I'm bad at short videos. Oh, baseball's back! That was my one poem on April 1st was about. It's about how baseball was back, and how badly I wanted to go to a game. And I wasn't gonna go to a game for a while. But I had such a stressful week, and we were working like my boss called me at 7:45 a.m. on Friday. My day doesn't start in theory until 9:30. But she called me, woke me up, and was like, you need to get to the office right now. There's this like really time sensitive, almost emergency thing. And I was like, okay, fine. And I drove to work. So I basically started at 8 a.m., had a really busy day of like, I work in Sonoma, but like driving around San Francisco and Sonoma, and just like, it was so hectic and busy. At the end of the day, I had this moment. I was like, fuck it. I just don't care. So, on impulse, I drove with a half dead phone, no cash, and okay, I put sweats on, but like not well thought out trip. Thankfully, I had a full tank of gas to Oakland for a baseball game. I bought the ticket online, and when I got to the stadium, I was like, please tell me they are not cash only for parking, because that would have been an issue. When I got there, it's no cash, it's cards only, which thankfully worked for me. I won't be going to lots of them because COVID, but the way they're set up, I could see it online where the tickets were like in blocks, and so there's nobody around you, and I was like, there are going to be like 2,000 people. It's cold. I'm going to wear an N95 and not take it off. I was dehydrated at the end because of that, and I'm so glad I did. It had been 553 days because the last baseball game I went to was the third to last game of the 2019 season, and then I didn't go in 2020. And obviously, for many obvious reasons. And then the last 2 days of the 2019 season, I also had tickets to, but I impulse flew to Disney World because at the time, baseball just seemed like something I could do all the time in 2020. I mean, it's fine. I'm glad I went to Disney. I'm not regretting that. But, like, the reason we went to Disney was I was so stressed out about the chance that my team, or the Cardinals specifically, might miss the playoffs, that I was like, I literally can't watch this game right now because there was a chance they could lose their playoff spot. So my mom and I impulse flew to Disney World. Like, fuck it. We cannot watch these games. And we went, and I remember, like, for the Saturday we didn't watch the game. Sunday, like, we didn't watch either game, but we were, like, paying attention on our phones a little bit to see what the scores were. And Sunday, they clinched, and they did win, which means they did make the postseason. And we watched this clinching celebration on our phones, standing in line for a ride in Hollywood Studios in Orlando. And I just lived, like, the best life in 2019. Then 2020, it all exploded, and now my life is so boring. No, it's not. It's okay. I have a comfortable home, and that is all that matters, and a comfortable job. And I don't have anyone I live with anymore, but, like, I still have friends. I'm glad I have you guys. I'm glad I have my family. Love you guys. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's having a good week. I literally said in my head I was going to go 5 minutes, but I went 13. So, hope you enjoyed me rambling. Talk to you soon. DF2BA.